All right, hello, happy Friday, and welcome to MARIMAR'S Spanish Table. Here we are in the kitchen with my mom, Marimar, and well, we're gonna do some cooking and bring you some fun and entertainment. And yes, time for that Friday 5 o'clock glass of wine.
I've been waiting for that all day.
Cheers!
Yeah,
Yes.
It's been a long week.
Yeah. Well, we are starting off with our 2018 Acero unoaked Chardonnay. I'd say that's a perfect Friday 5 o'clock wine.
Yes, and it's gonna make me cook really much better.
Yay! So you've got the links to the recipe that we're gonna do, and the wines that we are tasting are in the sidebar if you're watching on Facebook. And we also have your own personal wine concierge to call into. Alice, our veteran, she's like family, call in and she can discuss pairings and all our wines. 707-823-4365, extension 102. Okay, all right.
All right, can I start now?
Yes.
I'm dying to cook some. Okay, so we're gonna make this cream of beets soup, okay? And that's a recipe from my first book, The Spanish Table. And it's a recipe that came from, gosh, it's really, a long time ago, because of course my first book was published in 1986. And so I had it, in my book of recipes as one that was typical from Andalusia. Anyway, we're gonna start with the butter here on the pan, and then a little bit of garlic.
So it's typical from Andalusia. Then this recipe. What are the origins of this recipe? Because we also had a question from Samuel Way, who's asking, is this a recipe that's traditional for the region, for Andalusia? For Spain?
Well, beets are grown a lot in Spain, and they're grown mostly in the north and in the south, in Andalusia. So this recipe came from a restaurant that I had it at, and I like beets, but when I tasted this soup, I remember thinking, wow, this is just beets, at the up.
The best expression.
Yes, exactly. And so now we're warming the butter, and we're gonna add some the garlic, the onion, okay, and some leeks that have been chopped, very chopped. So we're gonna make a lovely sauce, and meanwhile you can talk about Acero.
Okay, a few more words about our Acero Chardonnay. Also, what are you drinking right now on this beautiful Friday afternoon? So this is our 2018 Acero. This Acero means steel in Spanish because this wine is fermented in stainless steel tanks. So it doesn't touch oak, zero oak. However, it does go through 100% malolactic fermentation, which essentially is turning one type of acid into another type. The malic acid that you find in apples, green apples, is converted into lactic acid, which is what you find in milk and dairy products. So it's a much softer, rounder expression than you would expect from an unoaked Chardonnay. And I'm getting citrus. Well, I'm also getting onions and leeks. Apple, and really
the apple comes from our sea clone, because we have 3 clones of Chardonnay in our winery, and C, which usually makes about 50% of the blend of our La Masia Chardonnay, has this classic apple, fresh, Gravenstein apple, that very connotation.
Yep. And hey, this property, in fact, this vineyard where this wine comes from, was, before my mom bought it, was an apple orchard.
That's right.
So Sonoma County was apple country before it was, and prune country as well, before it was plum. Yeah, that's true. Plum country. Before it was wine country. But
okay. So the recipe. So this is what it looks like, right? The leeks, the the garlic, the onion and the garlic. And so now we're gonna cook it for about 20 or 30 minutes. And then after we cook it that long,
okay, we're gonna shout out to some, we're so excited to have you join us, that you are watching. Shannon Gartner, who is a fantastic wine educator, look up Blonde Tasting. She's drinking the 2018 Albarino. And Deborah Ramos, we love you, Deborah. Bill Stanley and Diane Lowe. Morgan, we're so glad to have you back. And Caroline LeBlanc and Kevin Dickinson, who's like family as well.
Okay, I'll bring to them because I need another.
Kevin and Caitlin with their very, very cute little kids.
Yeah. Okay, so after 35 or minutes or 25 or 30, that's what it will look like. Okay, this is the leeks and the onion and the garlic. And now we will add here the beets. So these beets have been...
To do the beets first?
No, that goes afterwards. These are the beets that have been pureed, not pureed, but they've been chopped very finely, and we add them in the... So they're raw. Yes, raw beets. And that goes in here and goes with the sherry vinegar, okay, which we add here, and we add some. I'm sorry, that was the fino or amontillado, a dry sherry, and this is the sherry vinegar, which goes here too, and then we get some sugar, because beets like sugar. I don't know why, but they do. And
I definitely don't know the answer.
So we're gonna cook this while you do whatever you do.
Well, this reminds me of the importance of cooking your beets. Rather than, so I was hosting some friends. I love having friends over at my mom's house. It's a great place to have people over and barbecue. And last summer, I had some friends over, and I saw this beautiful recipe about these beautiful multicolored beets. They were red and orange and yellow. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to put them in my kale salad. How basic is that? Kale and beets. And so I got the beets at the market, and I'm like chopping them up, and my good friend Roz Gilbulos and Matt Bulos, they came early and they were helping me chop them up, and our hands were all red, and we dig into the salad, and oh yeah, it's really good. And of course I didn't actually realize that you're supposed to boil them, cook them first, because I am not the cooking pro that my mom is. And so everyone was like, oh yeah, really, really good salad. And that was my lesson learned about not eating raw beets. It's not the way to go.
Now that used to cook for more than an hour. First it cooks for 45 minutes, like that, and the beets, of course, will let the juice go out, and then it covered, okay? And then you uncover it, and then you cook them, low heat, low medium, and so they get a little dry. So guess what? That's what they will be like afterwards. So that's the beets and the leeks, and ooh, probably looking dark, right?
Yeah, there we go.
So
beautiful beet red.
So there you go. I think that I got it out. And then
and so okay, this recipe is from your first cookbook.
Yes.
The Spanish Table. So Mom has written 2 cookbooks, and the Spanish Table, tell me, because you grew up in Spain where it really wasn't it wasn't abuelita, my grandmother it wasn't appropriate for a young lady to cook. And so then how did you go from there to writing this book?
Well, actually, it's interesting. I remember in Spain, stories that I was telling my friends that I was going to marry an American and live in California. And they said, oh, you need to know how to make just macarrones.
Pasta.
Yeah, but
macaroni.
Macaroni, of course. Hello. So macaroni and with cheese and tomato sauce. Don't worry, the Americans don't know much about it. And I came here, of course. I then married an American food and wine critic. So of course he knew a lot about
I don't
food.
think he was eating pasta.
No, we were not eating pasta, definitely not. But the funny thing is that we would kind of have our friends over, and everybody in our circle of friends cooked. I mean, women and men. And in Spain, you just couldn't believe it. I mean, I'm talking about the late 70s, okay? That's been a while. But in those days, I mean, men didn't cook in Spain, except, of course, if you were a chef. But remember, it was just the great French chefs like Paul Bocuse that made it popular for men to cook. But it was, yeah, especially in Spain, it was, you know, the cook's place, right? I remember when I remodeled my house in Sitges in Spain, that the architect said, well, you know, you need a door between the entryway and the kitchen because, and I said, no, I don't want to, no, I don't need a door. She says, well, yeah, because, you know, it's going to be smelling bad from the
All
kitchen.
the smells from the kitchen
All
will
over the
escape
kitchen.
from the kitchen
Awesome.
and will
But
travel throughout the house.
when I cook,
Perish the thought.
when I cook, it doesn't smell bad. It smells wonderful. And but anyway, so I remember even that when I was, when I wrote my first book and I was doing kind of a tour and such, we got an article in Bon Appetit magazine, and with all my friends, so I had to prepare a dinner and such, and you know, my friends came, and one of them, Richard, my very good friend Richard, he baked his bread, and I remember the magazine saying that, you know, my friend Richard bakes his own bread, and my friends in Spain couldn't believe it. In fact, Richard was very amused, and all the time, you know, in Spain, he would say, I'm the one who bakes his own bread. Anyway, so this is what it will look like. This is, you know, the beets with all the stuff in them. And now we're going to put it here. Oh, this is too heavy. Oh.
In the blender.
In the blender, yes. Thank you very much.
You
Yeah? Okay, I'll help you with that. Wait. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. I can now have another sip of wine. Oh, oops. What happened? It fell, that's all. So we're going to have to talk really loud now because it's going to be very noisy. And I'm going to cover it. And off. Okay.
All right. This is the food processor part.
Well, the blender. And so this is going to be the soup that's going to be pureed, right? And once it's pureed, it will be ready. So we will warm it up.
Yeah.
Okay. We will return it to the pot that went there.
And then let's see, our next wine, our second wine is our 2015 Bonita's Hill Chardonnay. This is a club exclusive wine that is a smaller bottling. It is from a.
Okay, we'll pretend that it's puree. Okay?
I think it looks very puree.
Yeah, it looks puree.
And so it is from a block on this vineyard in the Russian River Valley where Bonita, our dog, loves to run. And so it is Bonita's Hill. And this is a wine, it is Chardonnay. This is a wine that does ferment in oak, in French oak, and it spends about 11 months in new French oak, 55% new French oak.
It's from the cyclone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so this is a wine that so it's aged on the lees in barrel for 11 months, and then it is bottled unfiltered. So really the key here is the additional texture, the creaminess of the oak and the lees aging and the roundness on the palate as well. Really getting papaya and
you're so good at that.
lemon.
Yeah, lemon. I would get lemon, but papaya, I have to think about it.
With some of that creaminess, like a custard. And a nice round
and the
long
creaminess
finish.
Comes from the
lees.
The lees, exactly. Yep. Yeah, the malolactic. Yeah. So now we have this here. We're gonna warm it up. Okay.
So the beets after going in the blender.
Yeah, and so it's a puree, and it will be ready to eat.
Beautiful. And we have, let's see. So there's an option of serving hot or cold. And the idea is, let's see, if you serve it hot versus cold, what is the?
If you serve it hot, it's like that, and then that's right. We have to. Oh my gosh, I forgot to. Oh no, I didn't. So you have to add some cream. Oops, this is a little heavy. So we're gonna add some cream here, and then if it was cold, we would first of all use more
Would use yogurt.
yes, yogurt and more caldo. Stock. There you go.
Stock.
Sometimes I get stuck. Oh, stuck in stock, right?
Stuck in stock. And if you have any questions or as we're going along, please do feel free to ask away. We are here. And yeah, okay, so then you warm up the beet with the cream.
Yes.
All right.
And that'll be it, really. Oh, and then I added some, oh no, I'm going to do it now, some pepper, okay, and salt.
And we are going to plate the beet soup, and then we are going to put a dollop of creme fraiche on top.
Right. That's right.
And this is a Bellwether Farms Crème Fraîche. This is Bellwether Farms is local Sonoma County here in Petaluma, very close by. And it is a family business, second generation, the Callahan family. And we just Mom loves having their fromage blanc on toast in the morning and the creme fraiche on this soup, and with a really yummy persimmon dessert that Mom makes.
Yeah, that's right.
And and so and they have fantastic cheeses as well. Besides the creme fraiche, they do sheep and cow's milk, and it's all natural, no hormones. Anyways, we recommend you try, and you can find the links in the sidebar. All right, well, I'm excited to try this beet soup.
Okay, we're gonna pour it. It's the heavy type.
Here.
So we can put it here, right? Okay, we need to taste it. Why do we need to taste it?
Yeah. And this color is beautiful.
So let's
I'll show the color, that nice beet red.
I don't really need more salt, do you? It's so good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yum, yum.
So there we go.
Yum, yum.
We add it here in the bowl. There. There. Thank you. And we get the creme fraiche. So creme fraiche is, as you can tell, a French production, and it's made from a cream that is fermented with
buttermilk.
Yeah, thank you. Buttermilk. Okay. Yeah. It can also be made with sour cream, but I always, when I made it with buttermilk.
All right.
So there we go.
Yeah. So we put a little dollop of creme fraiche on, some Bellwether Farms creme fraiche.
Yeah, which is really good. Okay, let's see. Yum.
Okay, we're gonna try it with the Acero. Let's see.
Let's see what we like better. Oh, yum. Yeah, good, eh? Good.
And let's see, with the Bonita's Hill. Oh boy. I mean, I think both of them go really well. I think maybe the Acero I have a preference for because of the acidity. Matches the acidity of the beets and the vinegar.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic.
Well, you know what? I think that's just about it. I think it's time for us to wrap up. Visit us on MARIMAR'S and you'll find information about all the wines. The links to the recipe and the wines are in the sidebar if you're on Facebook. And call in, talk to your own wine concierge, Alice, at the winery, 707-823-4365, extension 102. And and tune in next week. It is Memorial Day weekend, which is crazy that to be having Memorial Day weekend. We will be making some very classic Spanish tapas, including tortilla española, which is the Spanish potato omelet, and pan con tomate, paired with our rosé and our albarino.
All right.
So tune in next Friday. Get your wines. Links are in the sidebar, marimarstate.com, and cheers. We hope you have a great weekend.
Mine is empty, so anyway.
Cheers.
Happy weekend.